So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the final round of the America's Cup portion of the Midwest GT3 division. Since then, we've also added ourselves a LMP division, as well as, well, that's about it. But we're here today at the lovely, and I mean properly lovely circuit this, of the Willow Springs. Titled Willow Springs International Racing Circuits. International Motorsports Park, that's the name of it. Amazing track located just an hour north of Los Angeles area. I mean, this is one of the most brilliant circuits in the world, if you ask me. This thing is just absolutely incredible to see. Speaking of incredible to see, that was a good drift there. We have 10 drivers on track today. Tiger NASCAR, all he needs to do is finish the race today in order to clinch America's Cup Championship. And next week out, we head to Europe for that championship portion. I believe it's actually heading to... Is it Spa? We go to Brands Hatch. That should be a fun one. Brands Hatch, very old school circuit. That'll be fun. Mitch Burns, first driver out on track, one of the fair few that have chosen to go something other than a Porsche, which is quite nice to see, to say the least. We'll take you through the lap with his Ferrari 458 Italia GT3 into... Is my TV going to make noise? Yes, it is. Let me turn my TV volume down. Oh, big slide from him! My headphones was doing a glitchy bit, so I've decided to go back here in towards... this is going to be turn 2 now. I get the 911 to the inside. That one being... display the driver... Yeah, so that's Electric Blade down on the inside there. Electric Blade will go along with him as he heads up the hill through turn... It's tricky this because there's more turns than you actually think. 9 corners away from this track. Doesn't really look like that. That's turn 3. Down the hill, turn 4, into 5 now. And then into 6. Tricky corner, that one in particular. Exit at turn 6. Down through here, this is technically turn 7. And then into what is turn 8 now. Into turn 8 you go. Get to this braking zone here, and this apex becomes turn 9. That's the final corner. Very NASCAR-ish track as far as corner layouts. But Electric Blade first to the line here. Let's see what kind of lap he lays down. It's going to be a 1:13.379. Alex does go faster in his Hoonigan-inspired Porsche. Good drift there. Has to be said. Tiger NASCAR has then gone faster than... Oh, goodness me! Well, that was a rightly big collision then. As Alex is out in the desert somewhere after Tiger NASCAR. Now, he had already come through on a hot lap, but yeah, he's got quite some damage in the front of the car now. As we said, Swansea next up behind him. And his Martini liveried Porsche. I believe I had one of those last season. Could we actually get ourselves a full lap around? We're going to go with Cam Tizzle here in, I believe, his 911. Yes, it is. Into turn 1. Pretty straightforward. Big looping right-hander of turn 2. Pretty much ride the throttle through 4th or 5th gear, whatever you'd like. I typically did it in 5th, but I'm also not racing so bad. Through the corner. Probably the only heavy braking zone on the circuit, this turn 3 here, uphill to the left. And even then, it's like, as he's going to go through turn 4 here, kind of have to trail brake through it from, what does that say in the back of this car? Something about, please use your brake, the left pedal. Yes. Oh, that's right. He had this livery for last time. This corner, as we see Jarvis go through now. What kind of car is this? This is a... what is this? Sure. It's definitely something. Josh Senior in his Ford GT, one of the only drivers not the Porsche. He's had... what did he have last time? He had a... I believe it was a Supra last time. Now, some form of Toyota that he used the last cast that we had. That was over in... that was Trial Mountain, I believe. So here he goes now through the first corner. Back along with Josh Senior here, through the lap. It's tricky because a lot of these corners on the track, the braking zones that are there, I hate to refer to them as like half-acid braking zones. But that's really what it is. I mean, up the hill here is the only one where you even need to brake. And even then, you can brake as late or as early as you want, considering you're uphill and to the left. It's going to be about line management there through anything else. This one's a little trickier just because it's up the hill and yeah, it's a little bit out of your way there. Down the hill through turn, whatever this is. Quick little couple downshifts there. The corner does, well, as you can see right there, the corner does. The outside of the track does creep up on you there. As you can see, it's going wide through that. That will definitely throw you through a loop if you don't get that one sorted out correctly there. What kind of car is this? I'm quite interested. Can we go in? Let's make car names. What is this? It is a Supra. It's just a 1997 Supra. Huh. Interesting. It's currently 3.5 tenths faster through Sector 2. Was that of I Am Jarvis and the Tide? Oh man, that's a brilliantly liveried car. That one in through turn 9 now. Let's see what he's got. Cantus has just gone. He's set a new personal best for 112 something or another. The line comes Jarvis. What's he got here? I think he can maybe improve. He does by half a second. He does leapfrog Josh Senior. Goes up to P8. That puts a 10.5 back to Josh Senior in Ford GT. Up the hill in towards turn 3 now. He's hit the dirt. It's like grass or dirt. It's more like sand. He's hitting sand on the outside of the corner. 7.5 tenths slower at this moment in time. Oh, that's a tricky break. I assume the race is going to be brilliant here because really, a very fast circuit. I mean, can we go along with Dustin Howe now? So I mean, like you can tell, again, it's a very NASCAR-ish track because you're riding the throttle more than you are the brake. I would say certainly the majority of this lap taken at full throttle. Very little braking involved here. As he's going to make his way. It's Tiger NASCAR doing some rallying here, as it turns out. Next car, Cam Tizzle, can go along with the C with him. Just this first corner is slightly braking. I mean, you're going to hit the brakes relatively, I believe, 50-meter board right about there. But even then, it's just a slight tap. This here, through turn 2, this is a game recommended braking zone. You don't really even have to brake. You can just let off the throttle, carry the momentum through the corner. You're pretty similar way about the track. It's not a serious braking zone. The only thing you got to worry about is the exit there, taking it a bit wide, up the hill through 3. Just behind Mitch Burns here. Looks a pretty good lap so far from Cantus. Currently finds himself just under 6 tenths of a second off pole. Seems to be doing quite well. Through turns 5 and 6. Gonna have a nice tone here from Mitch Burns ahead of it. 10.5 better. This will almost leapfrog Tiger NASCAR, not quite. Makes his way in towards turn 9 now. Ooh, big wiggle then it looked. Does he hold on? Yes, he does. Mitch Burns is going with gravel ahead of him. Sand. Down the picture he goes, Cam Tizzle. What does he have in the line? Oh, he's actually slower than. By over 6.5 tenths. That was a much better lap than the timing suggested then. As Dustin currently leads the proceedings here. His fastest lap, 1:11.771. Tiger NASCAR by 4 tenths of a second. It's absolutely brilliant. Probably, I believe myself is to be a pretty okay livery designer. Cake definitely better. Dustin is the pinnacle of livery design in this division. That part is definitely for sure. This is interesting here. We've got Electric Blade choosing the mediums. Slightly odd, but that's what he's going to do. Because whatever tire you qualify on is going to be the tire you start the race on. Now, again, these are about a minute lap time, so we're going to be looking at, you know, I would say just under. It's difficult, really, because I think stretching the strategy today is going to mean more than perhaps, you know, making more stops. That's going to be my estimate. I'll have to wait and see. I'm not quite sure. As Alex puts himself 112 something or another, puts himself P6. His current best so far. Scornsy in the pits. Got ourselves, I mean, I can't quite tell how long the session is. We've got ourselves just under 5 minutes to go here. As Electric Blade makes his way through in towards turn right. Getting a lot of camera shots here. This is the snap-on ramp. How this thing's managed well. Makes his way. Bit of a wiggle then. See, that braking zone is quite tricky. It's very reminiscent of that one, the first corner in the Daytona 24 layout, where the braking zone is into a corner and you need to take it straight, or else the back end of the car's gonna get away from you then. I think that's exactly what's happened with Electric Blade. He's just kind of stepped out a little bit, but not bad. Switch my inputs back over again, hopefully. Back on here, Electric Blade 5.5 tenths quicker. Through Sector 1 so far, as Mitch Burns goes 113.275. Puts himself within 6/100ths on Electric Blade so far. The top 6 within a second of currently provisional pole, with just under 5 minutes to go. This actually about 4 minutes to go now. Through Sector 2, nearly 9/10ths of a second faster. His Electric Blade. This will leapfrog him. Of Alex, it'll leapfrog probably Cake as well. This is looking a good lap here. We'll just have to wait and see how he handles his final corner. Big use of the gravel up ahead. Oh, that was probably hurt him, that exit of the corner. Oh, that's getting close. Puts himself second, 112.064. And I tell you what, if he didn't hit the gravel on the exit of the corner, he may have gone even faster. Because it's tricky because there's no runoff in any of these corners. You know, you get into the dirt, and then immediately the grip reduction is so low. I mean, it becomes a rally stage when you're not on the tarmac here. So it's a very difficult circuit to get right. We've got just about 3 minutes to go in the session now. We do have who are we along with? Tiger NASCAR. Let's go along with here. He's up the hill in towards turns 3 and 4. Mitch Burns has gone to the pits. You can see Tiger NASCAR. His tires pretty much completely used here, so he's going to be stopping any minute now. See, this is the problem with this game is you can't select how much fuel you're putting into the car. You have to either use it all or kind of like, you know, conserve. And Tiger NASCAR, obviously he's not running times close to pole right now. That's because he's trying to use as much fuel as he can and get back to the line. He's gone off track then. There is a barrier there. Cam Tizzle making his way through turn 2. Hill through 3. To 4. Takes the apex quite narrow. Very heavy over the curb there going through turn 5. A lot of space though. So Dustin's come in and he's refueled, and he's got 3/10ths back to Scornsy. Scornsy's come in recently. Don't suppose he'll be coming in now. He's probably not getting enough time, so he's got to really just gun this one. He's got 3/10ths of a second between himself and the divisional pole at the moment. This is going to be his time lap now, because as you can see, he's in the 116s range, 117s. So this is going to be the lap to pay attention to here. For Scornsy, makes his way into the first corner. I know that the connection isn't the best, so it does look a bit sketchy at points. Kate Thomas just gone 112. He's in 5th at the moment. Electric Blade, 111.930. That puts himself up into 2nd, 4/1000ths of a second above Scornsy. Scornsy makes his way through turns 3 and 4. He's got, who's that ahead of him? That's either Mitch Burns or Alex. There's Mitch Burns ahead of him. Cam Tizzle behind Scornsy. How much of a toe is Scornsy getting from the Canadian ahead of him? Down the back straight now, in through 7 and then 8. Scornsy, I don't believe this is necessarily the lap he's going to most appreciate here. I think he'll be able to start another one here, but he's running out of tire and time to put in a really exemplary lap. Oh, Mitch Burns, you see that jump he just did? My goodness me, I tell you what, Mitch Burns was coming around to try to start a hot lap, and he's done a full... Oh my god. Where has he even gone? Jesus. Okay. Well, anyways. I mean, he's just evil Knievel that 911 into the wall there. He's gone flat out over that jump. Scornsy at the moment, 4/100ths best, purple sector 1. This makes his way up through turn 3 and 4. He's completed 12 laps so far this session. Makes his way now down the back straight. Still needs 0.3 of a second to find provisional pole. He's made up 7 1,000ths. So at the moment it doesn't appear as if he's going to be taking pole. He's going to go through turn 9 now. Let's see where Scornsy goes. Cam Tizzle behind him. I'm actually almost more interested in Cam Tizzle. Ooh, and he's gone well off the circuit then, and he's crashed into the pit lane. Scornsy has leapfrogged. That of Electric Blade has put himself just under 2/10 onto the front row. So it looks like it'll be Dustin, Scornsy, Electric Blade, and Tiger NASCAR. Your front 2 rows, Cam Tizzle 5th, Cake in 6th, 7th is Alex, 8th Mitch Burns, 9th Jarvis, rounding up the field P10, Josh Sr. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, cars on track, cars on the grid. Should be getting ready to go here very shortly. Here we go, lights coming on. And it looks like now we are off for the hour of Willow Springs. Dustin gets the much better start, files in ahead of Scornsy. Electric Blade has the outside into this first corner. Dustin certainly has the advantage. Scornsy files suit. Behind, it looks as if it's just an absolute herd of 911s as they make their way through the desert here. Scornsy side by side with Electric Blade as they make their way through the second corner, the long looping right-hander. But it looks as if at this moment in time, Dustin has taken the clear advantage as Electric, oh, he's gone just a little bit into the sand there, and it looks like Tiger NASCAR might have a move at the outside. Contact perhaps being made. He's going to switch to the outside. Electric Blade still on the inside, but Tiger NASCAR does. Will he get better acceleration off the outside? No, he gets into the sand. Still side by side between these two as ahead. Scornsy and Dustin battling for the lead as it looks like behind. Kate Thomas just sitting and watching and hoping that perhaps at this point he may have a move for the 2 cars ahead as it looks like Scornsy's making his way down to the inside. It looks as if he's got the line in through turn number 8. Side by side they go, and it looks as if Scornsy, does he have the better line into the braking zone, into the 9th corner? Dustin's got the outside, and he'll maintain the lead as it turns out, exiting the first lap of the Grand Prix, the endurance race, as Dustin definitely did very well then to hold on to his lead as they make their way now second lap. Electric Blade filing in behind. Looks as if Tiger NASCAR has fallen back just a little bit. It looks like perhaps some shuffling about going on then between, perhaps is it Alex and Cam Tizzle, it seems. Very nearly so, as they exit the second corner and up the hill in through turn 3. Beautiful combinations of corners, this absolutely scenic racetrack as they head through the desert here just north of Los Angeles, and the field now making their way. Looks like, oh, Cam Tizzle's gone right into the sand then. So we file back. Oh, Josh Senior's had a bit of an off then. He's in the dirt outside the corner, and he rejoins the circuit. But I'm afraid that is a very crippling blow to the Ford GT and his race. Dustin has the lead at 0.7 of a second. Looks as if now Tiger NASCAR might be able to find a move at Electric Blade here right soon as they make their way out of turn 9. Again, these laps are going to be more about consistency more than anything else. Don't get yourself into the sand and you'll do all right. Use every inch of the track you can, and there's no exit curve, so you really have to be careful. You see Electric Blade got into the sand in the apex of corner. That may have hurt his time. Tiger NASCAR doing his best to maybe try to find something to capitalize on here. Looks like Kate Thomas under a fair bit of pressure from Cam Tizzle here for the pit spot. Cam Tizzle, oh, and he's into the dirt heavy. Tell you what, was off to a good lap. He's actually done well to maintain composure despite going into the sand, as it looks like Tiger NASCAR down to the inside of Electric Blade. Very close call there. Electric Blade maintains the third spot for now. Tiger NASCAR hot on his heels. In the slipstream now of Electric Blade as they make their way through turn 7 and into turn 8. Tiger NASCAR chooses the bottom. It's not going to be the preferred line into the braking zone into turn 9. He does get up ahead of Electric Blade, only just and only temporarily, because Electric Blade still has the outside line. Then Tiger NASCAR does, in fact, pull away in the 911 in pursuit. It's Cake Thomas doing his best to stick with the rest of the top 5 here. I have to say, he is kind of falling off just a little bit more than you'd expect from Cake, but finds himself at this moment in time 4.5 seconds, almost 5 seconds away from the lead. Scorty's still within 8.5 tenths of Dustin. Alex has left the room, I'm afraid. Uphill, turn 3 and turn 4. Tiger's gone right in the sand then. How is he, looks as if he's done okay enough to hold on, but he's lost another little bit of time there to Scornsy. I wish we were able to cycle through the MFD here to see if he's perhaps on, you know, is he perhaps conserving a little bit, or is the two ahead of him just that much more paced than Tiger NASCAR? Remember, Tiger NASCAR, all he has to do is finish the race today, and he will be crowned the America's Cup champion. For the Grade 3 division. Oh, Scornsy heavy into the dirt on the outside, and he'll be losing a bit of time there. Thankfully, he was able to hold on to the car, and he didn't spin it into the pit lane. That one has gotten away from him rather quickly, and now Tiger NASCAR might find himself in position, perhaps find an overtake here, within 0.5 of a second. Doing very well to hold on. Going to have more acceleration than from over Scornsy through turn 2. Looks like he's faster. Scornsy heavy on the brakes ahead. Tiger NASCAR chooses the outside and probably going to switch back down to the inside. He did that with Electric Blade as well. Did his best to make the driver ahead feel uncomfortable, and that's exactly what he did with Electric Blade and what he plans to do with Scornsy here. Scornsy's already fresh on a mistake. We are currently 5, almost 6 minutes into the session. Tiger NASCAR really in pursuit here. I'd like to believe that's contact onto the back of Scornsy there. Chooses the outside into turn 9. It goes through the corner, has the acceleration heavy into the sand. I think Scornsy's going to stay ahead. And yeah, he is gaining a little bit. That lap was 0.5 second slower for Tiger NASCAR, but look, his left side tires, look how diminished they are already. Scornsy very similar, Dustin very similar. Electric Blade, I want to say, could have started on the mediums because he is not nearly in possession of that much wear. Jarvis probably the same. Tiger NASCAR is still doing his best to try to get to Scornsy here. He's got a bit of work to do. Looks like behind, Cake Thomas might be able to make a move at Electric Blade here shortly. Currently a 0.3 of a second gap and closing. 0.6 from Cam Tizzle back. So what's going on with Cam Tizzle? Let's have a little look at the 2 cars ahead. Looks like Cake is going to try the outside, files in behind Electric Blade. Electric Blade doing his best, blocking off any attempt at an overtake Cake would have. No real estate to make the move. Exit of the corner. Cake holds his line well. Cam Tizzle is beginning to close in here as it looks ahead. Scornsy down to the inside on Tiger NASCAR. Still side by side through the first corner. This one gets right close. Tiger NASCAR peeks ahead. Scornsy falls back to third. Very nicely done there from Tiger NASCAR, but as you can see, look how far down diminished the tires are on both Scornsy and Tiger NASCAR's Supras then. Very close in pursuit here. It's Cam Tizzle. Trying to look for a move around Cake Thomas. Cake ahead looking for a move around Electric Blade perhaps. Get himself up to 4th. Tizzle within 0.4 of a second and closing. With the slipstream, it'll probably be helpful. Cake Thomas ahead, trying to wear down Electric Blade on their way into the corner. Cake chooses to go high. Electric Blade then blocks the line. Cake looks low. Cake backs off before they get to the braking zone. Rainbow Red Bull livery here. 4, 5, and 6 as they head down the pit straight. Cam Tizzle now still in pursuit as they make their way in towards turn 1. Cam Tizzle doing about equal on tire wear here as Cam Tizzle wanted to have a peek on Cake Thomas, then wasn't able to make it happen. Did get close indeed. There goes Cam Tizzle trying to find a line around the outside. With a very long right-hander, will he have a move in towards up the hill into turn 3? Answer's no. Cake Thomas was in the way in the line. I'll say Electric Blade's still doing definitely the best on either of the other 2 drivers he's battling with here on sheer tire wear. Cake Thomas is going to have to start worrying about Cam Tizzle here. Cam has played it very, I don't want to use the word cautiously, but patiently is definitely the word, as Cake Thomas looks low on that of Electric Blade as they make their way through the 8th corner side by side still. As it looks as if Cake, does he have the line through turn 9? Electric Blade goes very wide, and he's going to spin around. Oh, and thankfully Cam Tizzle was out of the way, but Cake Thomas did very well then as Electric Blade leaves the room in distraught, and, well, quite frankly, I don't blame him. I don't think Cake Thomas did anything wrong there. Pure side-by-side racing, and Electric Blade ran out of real estate, unfortunately as it was. That final corner really does. It's a very long right-hander through turn 8, and then eventually it just tightens with 9. I mean, it's still a very wide corner in its defense, but still, I mean, it creeps up on you. It really does. Track limits here, track exit, certainly plays a little bit of a, first bit of a monkey wrench in the plan of many drivers. Dustin has the lead by 1.5 seconds over Tiger. Tiger's got 3.5 over Scornsy behind Scornsy, only 2. Back to Cake Thomas, who Cake, by the way, still under pressure from Cam Tizzle. Goes through turn 9. Cam on the outside of the corner doing well. Scornsy into the pits. I would say it's a bit of an early stop, but with how much the tires have been wearing, I'm not so sure that that's the case. Cake Thomas on the brakes ahead of Cam Tizzle. Cam looks to the outside, a little bit into the sand. Josh Sr. moves off the racing line. Well, that may have the move there for Cam Tizzle. Yes, it does. So Cake had gone wider. I think this is what happened. Cake went wider than he probably needed to. Oh, and speaking of wider than he needed to, certainly that time, as he's gone well into the sand. So I think Cake went wide to get around Josh Sr., and Cam Tizzle shot the gap and went for broken. He made the move happen into turn 2. It was a brilliant move, realistically. And Cam Tizzle takes over the 3rd spot. Now, as you can see here, his left front tire very, very worn, as well as his left rear. Cake Thomas, I don't want to say falling behind here, but equal amount of wear, if not worse. Dustin within 0.5 second of Tiger NASCAR here. His left tire certainly entering puncture territory here. Tiger comes in. Yes, he does, and so does Dustin. Cam Tizzle, what does he do? I would have pit if I was him. He's maybe a lap off of that same thing as Cake also goes in. Tires coming here for Tiger NASCAR. Beautifully colored matte teal rims. That's a mouthful to say that one. Comes out in 2nd. Josh Sr., you'll have to navigate him. Cam Tizzle, 6.5 seconds. He'll have to really tiptoe his way around this lap. Does he get out ahead of Cake once the overcut comes into play? I'm not rightly sure he will, but you never know. I mean, the gap here, as we have Scornsy trying his best to hunt down Dustin ahead as they make their way up the hill through turns 3 and 4. Down the back straight now goes Cam. I would assume he's going to be pitting this time by. Again, these stops are less for fuel, and it's just pure tire wear at this point in time as they head down the straight now. Let's see what Cam Tizzle decides to do as he exits the corner. Does he stay out? The answer is no. Cam's going to come in. So where does he come out? As we've got Scorty and Dustin making their way now. Tiger NASCAR's overtaken Cam. What's that? That's a yellow flag. Someone's gone around. Oh, it was Josh Sr. I think was slow then. Maybe made the game believe that there was a yellow flag there. And Cam comes out ahead of Cake Thomas, but only just. Oh, I think Cake won it around the outside there. Cam did well to block the apex. Cake still wants the inside. Who gets the better acceleration through turn 2 rather. Up the hill into turn 3. Cam Tizzle is ahead. 12 laps completed here. Just about 14 and a half minutes completed. Cam Tizzle, oh, he was heavy into the dirt that time. And I tell you what, he's almost gone. Well, it wasn't on purpose, but he has slowed almost nearly to a standstill in front of Cake that time as he went onto the dirt. And then the car, well, he had to get it back down to keep it under control, and it's almost collected Cake. Well, it certainly has lost them some ground. Cam has at least kept the spot for now. Now, this is where Cake Thomas overtook Electric Blade earlier in the race, so Cake goes low, forcing Cam Tizzle to take the high line. Does he force him wide? The answer is no, but he does have a good slipstream as they head down the pit straight in towards the first corner. See what happens here. Cake Thomas not enough at this moment in time to keep up with Cam. Up the hill, it looks like. A pretty close battle here for that second spot. Scorty within a second of Dustin. Looks behind. It's a closer battle than that of Cake and Cam, so we'll go along with this one. Scorty and his Martini themed Porsche 911 hunting down Dustin ahead. They go. Dustin has the spot, has the line. Scorty doing his best to try and keep up with it. Let's see. It's going to be down to who has the better acceleration off that final corner. It looks like Scorty may have only just gotten better. Oh, that was a big wiggle then from Cake. He's nearly lost the car, but he was able to hold on only just. Scorty doing his best to keep up the Porsche ahead of him. .5 of a second and closing. What does Scorty have here for Dustin as the sun beginning to set, I'd say. .8 of a second to gap between Cake and Cam. Roughly 0.8 as well between Scorty and Dustin as they make their way in through Sector 3, the big looping left-handers of turns 8 and 9. Looks as if Rich Burns, unfortunately, has left the room as well. It's on to 0.7 of a second. Behind to that of Cam. He is starting to gain a little bit of time as Cake. He's not necessarily, I would say, threatening the position yet. Scorty's now fallen outside of 1.2 seconds. Well, we have a minute here. Let's check in with the 24 hours of the Nürburgring happening right now. It looks as if we've got a car off at perhaps. It's tough to tell. We've got 11 hours and 44 minutes remaining in that race. As we have a marshal checking on what looks to be, I'm not quite sure what kind of car that is, but it's definitely off track at the moment. Must be a difficult track to be a marshal for, considering how many places there are for cars to go off, as it looks like Kate Thomas now within 2.5 tenths and closing of Cam Tizzle ahead as they make their way through turn 8 and 9. Kate doing his best, trying to stick with the Porsche ahead of him. If he gets a good toe down the pit straight, he might be able to catch up to him. It's tricky because the toe really isn't worth that much, it seems. Well, I gotta say, that was worth at least a tenth then. Kate right up against the car here. Turn 2. Kate's still doing everything he can. Kate is playing this really patiently. That's why he's last season's champion as well. Number one, he was the quickest driver on the grid by miles, but not only that, he was very, very willing to take patient routes like this. Of course, currently finds himself 5th, not typically territory he's used to. But if he needs to get around someone, he's going to find a way to do it. I think I very much trust him on that in this instance as well. As Cam is doing a great job of holding him off and really putting together some good laps to keep Kate behind as well. As they make their way through turns 8 and 9. Kate now within 0.3 of a second. Still trying to close that gap. Not really much in it yet. Very close indeed as they make their way through 2. Quick check on the Lakers game at the moment. Currently with 5 minutes and 18 seconds left in the third quarter. It's all square, 71 apiece between the Nuggets up 2-0 and the Lakers down 0-2. Series that is X-Caked right there, right to the inside of Cam Tizzle, looks for the spot. Round turn 4, does he have it? Yes, he does. Very nicely executed maneuver then by Kate Thomas. Did very well to string together some good enough laps to put Cam Tizzle in a position where, you know, he needed to, I don't want to say panic, but you know, the moment you have to start thinking about the driver behind you, you're losing time, realistically. And that's what Kate did then, and it was very, very wonderfully executed. And as they start the 18th lap of the race here, 21 minutes in, Kate Thomas has moved himself up to 4th, but is still under pressure from Cam Tizzle as they make their way in through turn number 1. Cam Tizzle has what would be the preferred line through 2, although he switches back to the outside. He's going to still try his best, and I don't think he's going to hook up the proper acceleration to make a proper move up through turn 3, although he is right there. Uses all of the entry he can. Kate blocks the apex through 3, up the hill through 4. He's going to drift up the track. Well, I thought he would. He didn't. He's held the apex through 4 quite nicely, actually. That was very nicely done there. I thought he was going to glide much further from the corner. Again, this is still in pursuit. Almost 0.4 of a second. Dustin, fastest lap so far to 1:11.996. I tell you what, Kate got properly loose on entry to the corner then. Remember, the drivers only needed to start the race on top. Oh, Kate's gone wide! Oh, and that has resulted in the position loss there. That time, all that effort that Kate used to get back to Cam Tizzle, I'm afraid it's all gone drifting away from him there. He's gone quite wide on exit turn 9. Found himself in the dirt. They're not rally cars, I'm afraid. Cam Tizzle has the spot. Looks like Scornsy's struggling a little bit on wear, especially that left front. Tiger NASCAR low on fuel. They'll need to come in soon. Everybody else doing fine. Tiger's going to have to make an additional stop here. Tiger NASCAR, yes, he does come in. I'm wondering if he underfueled on purpose. Maybe that was the case. I'm not quite sure. He had nearly 8 seconds back to Dustin. Dustin and Scorns are going to overtake him now. Fuel coming in for Tiger. You know, maybe that's what he just needed to do. Maybe it was, you know, let's get to that 20-minute mark, because if we can last, you know, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and, you know, maybe we can do something here. He's going to come out right behind Cake. He's got a full tank of gas. Cake's going to have to stop, well, not yet. He's got about half a tank of fuel. His left side tire's doing okay for the time being. Cam Tizzle even better, with slightly more fuel as well. Scornsy down to about half a tank. His left front is absolutely toasted at this moment in time. Dustin in that same boat as well. So Scornsy within a second here of Dustin. About to set here. California in the desert. Turn 9, who gets the better go through, who gets better acceleration. Looks dead even to me, yet the time hasn't really moved any more than a couple of thousandths. 5/10 of a second in closing. And closing, it's actually gone back up to about 7/10 then. 6.5 Scornsy doing his best. He's maybe had a little bit of a wiggle then going through. Meanwhile, a little bit further back, battle for the third spot. Within about 2 seconds of each other here, these three cars. Oh, Cake's gone wide. That's going to open the door for Tiger NASCAR. I tell you what. Oh, and Cake's gone around. Oh, and the mistakes piling up here for Cake Thomas. He had gone wide a couple of laps ago battling Cam Tizzle, and he spun the car around then. Yikes. Not ideal at all. And now it's Cam Tizzle defending from Tiger NASCAR behind. Battle for the lead still teetering on the brink of 1 second, so we'll go along with Tiger NASCAR for now. Oh, he's going to try to force his way to the inside of Cam Tizzle through turn 9. Does he have it? Cam Tizzle goes wide. Yes, he does. Tiger NASCAR promotes himself yet again back up into the top 3. I'm not sure how clean the move was. It did look like a fair bit of contact was involved. At least into the braking zone of turn 9. He got right close then, didn't it? NASCAR getting the spot, though, either which way. 2.5 gap between the top 2. We started with 10, we're down to 7. I'm really concerned about Scornsy's left side tires here. Dustin's got a little, maybe a lap more life in it than Scornsy. Both of them similar on fuel. Than a second now. Scornsy doing well. Looks like... Oh, Scornsy's come in. So Scornsy now, I believe... Well, he's got yet 38% fuel remaining. Tires going on. Either, I believe, mediums going on? Yes, they are. Fuel coming in for Scornsy. He's done. Medium tires and a full tank as he makes his way out on track in 4th. And now might have to defend from Cake Thomas behind. Cake on worn tires as well. Have to wait and see. Cake's got to play this one rather, I don't want to say he's got to be careful, but he need not make any mistakes here, because he's done well. The light flickering there for some reason. I'm not really sure. Through turn 4. Oh, Scornsy. Oh, that was a big slide. Cake's done it as well. In through the sand, and I'm actually quite surprised. They held on there. That was Pretty big mistake. Oh, Cake heavy into the dirt then. That exit of the corner creeps up on you as well. Dustin comes in. Into the pits. Very similar fuel situation from him to Scornsy. Tires, he was slightly better off. Fuel coming in. Tiger NASCAR takes the lead. Remember, I believe he went to overcut the first time around and then took the undercut. Dustin's gone on to hards. So we're about halfway through the race here, and I think that's going to be the case, because Tiger's probably gone to the hards as well. Cam has stayed out. Scornsy, I believe, has gone mediums. Dustin's gone to the hards. 0.4 of a second. The nighttime hours creep on us here as we enter the 30th minute of the race. Doing his best. I tell you what, he might have a move here at Dustin very shortly. I know his tires are starting to wear very quickly, that of Cake. The spin couldn't have helped him either. I would expect Cake to be pitting probably within the next couple of laps. We'll have to wait and see. It's not always the case. Dustin. Doesn't necessarily need to try too hard. He's still in the off strategy, but I tell you what. Yeah, maybe it'll do. Not quite sure. Up the hill, turn 3 and 4. Big Thomas right there on the bumper of Dustin as they make their way down the hill. 12.5 seconds to the lead of Tiger. 25 laps completed here. 25 laps in 30 minutes, give or take. So yeah, about 50 some odd laps is what I would be. That's what I was thinking kind of beforehand, but it looks like that's definitely going to be happening. Coming in this time, don't think so, unless it's Cake. Cake does come in. Cake decide to do? He's gone for the long game, whereas a driver like Tiger has gone rather short, I'd say. I believe, I'm not sure if he's taken hards or mediums, because he did stop rather recently. His tires are wearing. Let's see what Cake decides to do. Full tank of gas, hard tires. One of the few, I would say few races this season that we see the hards in play. But the tire wear is just so much on the softer compounds of tires. So you know, maybe that's just going to be the case we'll see tonight. But yeah, Josh Senior on his way into the pits. While we have a minute here, let's go over. You know, I think this might be the best part about these endurance races, that sometimes you just get a chance to kind of relax. And I mean, you know me, I'm not much one for racing in endurance races or casting them. I've only ever casted once. I've only finished like one race so far this season. As just, you know, the mistakes pile up, they do, and they very much do for me. So let's go over Midwest in review so far this week in Division 1. Brilliantly racing was won by NLR Joe Jug. An absolutely brilliant race it was for him. Putting himself on pole, leading all but a couple in the rain-tormented Imola race that we did have. I believe becomes the driver furthest down in points in a race week to ever win that race, as he currently found himself in P18 heading into Imola. 74 points out of the safety zone from relegation. did just that and put himself on the top step of the podium. Race Day was in pursuit behind. Race Day almost got him, but NLR No Jug did do very well. Look at the results for any other division. No, because they haven't been posted yet. Only casted one division. It was Division 1, so quite unfortunate, but that's just... let's see. We also have a World of Outlaws division here. Well, that was the 18th. When was that? That was a couple days ago. With MMR DG Gamer 04 taking the win at Grant Park. That was the final round of that season. I believe taking the championship for the World of Outlaws series was that of MMR DG Gamer 04. 1698 Monkey Mafia, not far behind 1682. 28 drivers participated in that league, really? I'd say that. I don't know. 11 people joined that league. Got a couple cars in close pursuit here. It is Stormzy to that of Cam Tizzle. Cam Tizzle low on fuel as well as burning up those left side tires. Remember, he has not pit yet. He's tried the overcut. Oh, I believe that's a car that's gone off. Is it Cake again? No, it's Josh Sr. who's gone off there. Fortunate for him. Goodness me, that one did get right close indeed. Swansea doesn't necessarily need to panic to get to Cam Tizzle here. Cam Tizzle, obviously on the off strategy at the moment. He's chosen the overcut. It's a 10-second gap from Swansea to the leader of Tiger NASCAR at the moment. Tiger NASCAR, well, he's got 10 seconds over said Cam Tizzle. This is the battle for second at the moment. Swansea looking for it here. Is he going to look for the outside? Yeah, he might. Through turn 8, into turn 9. We can assume Cam's going to pit this time. Swansea right behind him. No, Cam stays out another lap. Bold strategy here. I mean, he'll definitely lose the spot to Swansea. Probably Dustin as well. Yeah, he will definitely be losing it to Dustin. I'm not quite sure about Cake. Stop times are not that long here. Got some light flickering going on from Swansea then. Right behind. He is really doing his best to try to get around Cam Tizzle here. He's going to have the outside up the hill through 3. Later on the brakes, it looked like it was Swansea. Side by side still. Now looking through 4. And Swansea does end up getting the spot. I hate to say it, but I don't think Cam Tizzle is going to be getting it back. Just because he is on that off strategy, unless Swansea does make a mistake. Does Cam choose to pit this time? I would assume he would. Let's see. Yes, he does. So Cam finds his way in. I would assume it's going to be hards to the end now. Tires going on. Fuel coming in. Cake rounding turn 8 now, then turn 9. Does he fuel up fast enough to get out ahead of Cake Thomas? Yeah, looks like he does. It is right close, though. No, he is going to have a fair gap out ahead of Cake. At least 5 seconds, I'd say. Yeah, he does get out ahead of Cake. 5 seconds the gap. Tiger NASCAR still in the lead, although he will have to stop soon. So, now resuming Midwest in Review here. We did have a 100% distance series take on Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium yesterday. That one was taken by A-Dub in the McLaren. Started fourth, took 4 stops. Goodness me, it looked as if we only had the top 10 finish, as the Gronk finished second, Shariah third, P. Gonzalez fourth, Darksider fifth, Original Paulie sixth, Scornsy seventh, Lancey eighth, 9th was Willow, and 10th was Gabry. Was the finishing order for that one. Going into that round, Lancey led the points at 71, Gronk in second at 61, A-Dub at 57 was the top 3. Alex says his game crashed, that's why he left the game according to him. Next week, Midwest F1 heads to the lovely city, country of Monaco for round 10 of season 9 here. After Monaco, then we have Spain, Singapore, and Canada, and then into the new game. Very exciting. I do love when the new games come out. It's a very exciting time in Midwest when that happens, because we do at that point see so many drivers who, you know, sometimes you probably wouldn't expect. I tell you what, I'll give you the example of VTech 87. Really, I think did not have the best time through F1 2021. He's a very talented driver nonetheless, but he really came to life in F1 22 when he was able to win the Division 2 championship last season, and then was promoted into Division 1. And at this point in time, well, he sits 16th, but that was going into last night in Imola. So where he is now, I'm not quite sure, but either way, some drivers do benefit from the newer games. I tell you what, I have not enjoyed this one at all, but so that's the difference between these games and that of perhaps the Gran Turismo. Well, the Gran Turismo games only really come out once every couple of years. Games, you know, things get added. Things get added, things get taken away, things get nerfed, things get bumped. And it really does come down to, you know, finding out what the meta is. Obviously, the meta right now is the Porsche 911, as it turns out, which, you know, it's difficult to see, isn't it? Because I feel like without having the setups on, with having balance on performance, it very much is the Porsche 911 that comes through and takes the cake as probably the most all-around, like, dependable and reliable car, and quick as well in that sense. Because, I mean, I tried on the Renault. We have Jarvis on an old Supra here. Got Josh Sr. on the Ford GT. And, I mean, naturally, those at the top of the table right now currently really, really quick drivers in their own right, but I think I speak for everyone when saying I really would like to see it. Different spread of cars every once in a while, but that is how it crumbles, I'm afraid. And at the moment, it is still the Porsche that looms large here. I mean, oddly enough, it's the Porsche that looms large currently in the LMP class as well. We did run some LMPs last Monday. Didn't do well. It's not very ideal, but that round was taken by King Thomas, and next week we head to the fantasy track of Maggiore, the full course. That's a very fun circuit to be. Tiger NASCAR coming in. He was on the mediums. I tell you what, he made those mediums last quite a long time. We've got just over 17 minutes remaining. 16 and a half minutes remaining here. Scornsy's going to inherit the lead. Tiger NASCAR on his way in, full of fuel, medium tires again. How's Dustin's hard tires? Looks fine. Remember, he was one of the drivers that took the hards. Well, I'm thinking about Tiger NASCAR here. He's got a full tank of fuel. He's probably not going to need it to conserve to the end of the race. He's on the mediums as well, so I think they should be able to last 15 minutes. Dustin on the hards, he will definitely last, but my question is with the fuel. Half a tank of fuel to go here. He may need to conserve. I'm not quite sure, but for the time being, it is still Scornsy in the lead. Tiger NASCAR within now 7 seconds and beginning to close down on Scornsy. That is a key thing there. 7 seconds, but that gap is closing. He's getting further away behind to Dustin, who occupies the 3rd spot. Scornsy has the lead as he takes the grid onto the 37th lap of the race. Endurance team giving themselves a go as well. So I know the endurance team took over the virtual Nürburgring 24. Looks like the next one they're either going to compete in is either the 6 hours of Watkins-Glen or the 24 hours of Spa. So what, the 24 hours of Spa is definitely a staple in the endurance racing in the real world. As it looks now, Scornsy still 6.5 seconds, but is getting closer. Tiger NASCAR. Objects in mirror may be closer than they appear. Falling off then for Scornsy, it seems. 1.5 seconds slower on that last go through. Five and a half seconds now. That gap is closing. Tell you what, Tiger NASCAR might be on a neat little roll here. That gap is closing right quickly, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. Let's go back to the NBA, check on our Lakers-Nuggets game. 4th quarter, 7 minutes to go. Nuggets up 5, 99-94 versus the LA Lakers. Tiger NASCAR this time, despite closing in on Scornsy, that time was about, I believe that's at 0.2 slower than his previous go-through. Dustin slows past that 11.916. Don't expect to see that beaten as Scornsy comes in. So Tiger NASCAR plays the long game. Oh yeah, that left front tire is completely diminished on Scornsy's car. Doesn't need much fuel. Only going to need enough to get him to the end. Dustin's going to go by as well. Let's see. Mediums and 90% fuel for Scornsy. Does he come out ahead of Cam Dizzle? I tell you what, it's right close on exit of the pit lane, side by side. Cam Dizzle's got the outside, he'll have the inside into 2. And Cam Dizzle going to come out ahead of Scornsy, but how long does it last, considering Cam Dizzle on older tires? He is on about half a tank of fuel, so that one might help him. But Tiger NASCAR reclaims the lead yet again. And he's got 10 seconds over Dustin, and Dustin's got 4.5 over this battle for the 3rd spot between Scornsy and Cam Dizzle. 12 minutes remaining. Scornsy doing his best, 0.5 of a second. I tell you what, he's actually starting to maybe move a little bit backwards from Cam Dizzle here. As I say that, with the slipstream down the back straight, it does get closer. I'll tell you what, having a great race so far. Hopefully you can turn it into a result as well. Cars overlapping each other then. It's Tiger NASCAR getting past the lap car of Jarvis, although that one looked right close indeed. Swarthy now, moving backwards again, and Tizzle only gaining time. I tell you what, in the straight line speed, Swarthy's got him. But Cam Tizzle, at this moment in time, does seem to have just a little bit better of a way around this circuit. It's tricky, isn't it? Because in this game, I was listening to, I believe, one of the Gran Turismo drivers saying how the ABS does help you more than having ABS off in this game. And it's going to be more about, following that line, the racing line, more precisely, than it is anything else. Kate Thomas has just come in and he's come back out, falls to fifth, or is in fifth anyways, puts on the fresh softs, and is on track. Down there, P5. Scornsy still doing his best to try to catch up to Cam Tizzle here. He's got 10 minutes to do so. About to begin the 41st lap of the race so far. Scornsy might have a move here in a little bit. 0.5 of a second and closing. Well, Cam Tizzle, I tell you what he's got. That's Dustin ahead of him, eh? Something must have happened with Dustin, because last I checked, this gap was not that close between the top three, and then suddenly Dustin might be under pressure here from both Cam Tizzle and Scornsy. Yellow flag, someone's come off ahead. It's not Tiger NASCAR, it is that of Josh Senior, who spun it coming out of, I believe that's turn 6, yeah. Fortunate turn of events for him, but he has spun it around then. And now back along with the battle. 3 cars here, all within 0.2 of a second on each other. Scornsy at the tail end of the grid. I'll say grid, he's at the tail end of this battle. Exiting turn 9, Dustin comes in. Dustin's come in. Now, he went for the hards last time round. That's a little bit of a surprise to me. As Scornsy's going to look down to the bottom here. Cam Tizzle does block the line. I'm actually surprised Dustin needed to come in. 24% fuel. He's going to refill, come out on fresh soft, 58%. That'll take him to the end of the race. I don't know. As Jarvis has come off ahead, I don't know, it didn't seem as if he was in that much pressure. I mean, I don't really know what's happened, because suddenly he was under pressure from the two. Maybe was he caught up in trying to conserve and figured, there's probably not any chance I'm making this, and just decided to bite the bullet and come in for the stop. I mean, he's only dropped to 4th. Scornsy now, and I tell you what, I don't know what Cam Tizzle's doing. He is really much putting Scornsy at an uncomfortable position here. As Scornsy has pit rather recently, Cam Tizzle's, those left sides are heavily waning. Scornsy's pit rather recently, and still hasn't really found the advantage to get past Cam Tizzle. Making their way into the first corner. Nice crack. 0.5 of a second to gap. 43rd lap of the race. We've got just under 8 minutes to go. 2.5 tenths slower through sector 1 is Scornsy, but he is right up against the bumper with Cam Tizzle here. If Cam Tizzle makes one mistake, Scornsy's going to have the spot. That may have been the opening then. It's gotten a little slippy coming out of turn 5. Really in the slipstream here is Scornsy. Does he have anything through 7? Into 8. He's going to look for the outside. Does that mean he'll have the inside through turn 9, the braking zone? Oh, he didn't have it then, but who has better acceleration? Cam Tizzle moves to the left, trying to break the toe. Moves back down to the inside. And then moves back to the outside again. That's probably going to hurt him. Scornsy's got the braking zone. Cam Tizzle still has the outside and somehow manages to pull away with better acceleration. Great defending there from Cam Tizzle. I'm not rightly sure about the weaving, but this is sports cars. This isn't F1. Best of my knowledge, you can do a bit of weaving. Scornsy a little bit squirrely going onto the brakes there up the hill. Back down the hill now, 0.2 of a second the gap. Let's see, Scornsy is right there, trying to find something, anything, to get past Cam Tizzle. He is really pushing the pace now. Cam Tizzle's tires going away right quickly. Scornsy might have a look at the inside. He's going to perhaps try the outside. Does he switch back down when they go through 9? That's what I would assume. Right behind Cam Tizzle here. Right into the dirt about as much as he can, side by side, heading into turn number 1. 45th lap of the race now, with just over 5 minutes remaining. Oh, Cam Tizzle's done well to defend, but is it going to be enough? Still doing everything he can. 5 minutes to go. Scornsy doing his best. Cam Tizzle into the dirt. Oh, is that a bit of a bump then? Cam Tizzle heavy on the brakes. He slid up the track just a little bit. Scornsy might have the outside here. Scornsy's got the much better tires, but is it enough? 4.5 minutes remaining now. Scornsy's 0.3 of a second away from Cam Tizzle. Can he find something to get past the Porsche 911, which has relatively tormented him these past couple of laps? Tiger NASCAR very close to winning here. 4 minutes to go. We're going to be looking at roughly 4 laps then. That'll get us to about 50. Give or take. Cam Tizzle using that outside line through turn 2. Scornsy's still in pursuit. Really all over the bumper. Cam Tizzle here. Cam Tizzle's doing some very defending here. But Scornsy, I think really is going to have to pressure him into a mistake. Is that going to be it? Scornsy's right there. Looks for the right rear. Cam Tizzle heavy over the dirt. Maintains it on track. And still keeps Scornsy behind. Down the back straight through turn 7. Scornsy still looking for something, anything, to get past Cam Tizzle. It's less than 1/10 now. Does he try to find the outside through turn 8? Yes, he does. Who brakes better? They're really even now. Maybe contact, maybe it's just wiggle on the braking. Scornsy in pursuit. Switches to the outside. Oh, I tell you what, if he's got the better acceleration out of the corner, he'll have it into turn 1. Side by side, Scornsy, did he brake later? Yes, he did. Scornsy has the spot, but only just. And is it a temporary overtake? Because Cam Tizzle is still right there. Very close indeed. Scornsy pulls away right nicely. Cam Tizzle, wow, he did everything he could, but I tell you what, his tires are just so beaten right now. I do not really expect, unless Scornsy makes a heinous mistake. I'll tell you what, Cam Tizzle gave it a damn good fight then, but I think really, oh, yeah, I was going to say, I really think it is. It's just going to be one of those situations where the tires are so low. And by the way, Dustin's starting to catch up here. Not rightly sure he'll have enough time to overtake Cam Tizzle with just under 2 minutes remaining. What a battle that was between Scornsy and Cam. I mean, that one lasted so long. Brilliant stuff between the two. And for it to end well and not with someone spinning off into the dirt is even better. But it's Tiger NASCAR with 1.5 minutes remaining. believe this will be the penultimate lap here. Next time by will be the final go-through the Willow Springs International Motorsports Park. One minute remaining here. And yeah, Scornsy is already pulled out. Oh, wait, hang on just a second. Oh, I must have missed this because Cam Tizzle... Oh, something's happened with him because he's fallen behind Dustin. His left front tire is probably punctured territory at this point, and he's nearly out of fuel as well. Ah. Damn, what an effort from Cam Tizzle. I'm afraid he's just shy of putting himself on the podium then. Because Dustin was getting himself right close then, and I think it was about 5 seconds last time by. And I think only just. As Cam Tizzle missed out here. Very, very close indeed. Tiger NASCAR making his way through Sector 2 for the final time. Now, the hour has elapsed. This is the final lap. We'll have completed 49. Down the back straight, through turns 7 and 8. And then, eventually into 9. Kate Thomas comes across the line 5th. It is going to be Tiger NASCAR, not only the winner of this race at Willow Springs, he will win the American Cup here in Midwest GT3. It's a wonderful display from Tiger NASCAR. He played this race and the strategy right down to a T. And he's done so well. He's done so well to start this season off. Absolutely deserves this win and the American Championship. Scornsy comes across the line 2nd. 3rd is going to be Dustin. Jarvis is going to come across 6th, and that means Cam will take home 4th. As he comes across the line. What a race it was. I tell you what, there was quite a bit of action for only 7 cars on track. Very, very nice. Thank you all for joining us, Hotspot. It's been a pleasure being on the call. Next time out, Midwest GT3 goes to Brands Hatch. That should be a fun one. Once again, Hotspot, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.